Good morning, everyone. This is Andrea Johnson from Minnesota Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. On May 25th, 2020, the Twin Cities changed when George Perry Floyd was murdered by Minneapolis police at the intersection of 38th Street and Chicago Avenue on Memorial Day. This year, there are events planned across the Twin Cities and the nation to memorialize the life of George Floyd and to center the local and global uprisings against racial capitalism that the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Dante Wright, and too many others have ignited. This anniversary is also an opportunity for us white-bodied folks to reflect upon, take responsibility for, and find ways to engage in the lifelong work of dismantling white supremacy alongside our Black and brown-bodied family, friends, and neighbors. Minnesota Valley, we took an important step 2 weeks ago when we voted to adopt the 8th principle of Unitarian Universalism here at this fellowship. Just to remind you, the 8th principle states, "We, the members of Minnesota Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Bloomington, covenant to affirm and promote, journeying toward spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions." I'm proud of our accomplishments this past year to dismantle racism and white supremacy culture within ourselves, this congregation, and our community at large. As UUs, we are called to build the diverse, multicultural, beloved community that our ancestors spoke of and current generations still speak of to this day. As we think about a post-pandemic world, I invite those of you who identify as white to recommit to ending white supremacy on this anniversary of George Floyd's death. Consider joining in some of the memorial celebrations that are happening today, as well as other racial justice events that are happening in the coming weeks. Find what works for you, show up, and get involved. I'm proud of the work we've done this year. As Memorial Day approaches, I'd like to end my reflection today with a poem by UU military chaplain Nicole McKay. We gather to remember those who could not grow old and those forced to grow old long before their time. We gather to mourn and grieve with one another, all of our losses, the people, the stories, the loved ones, and the futures that could have been. We gather to do the hard work of facing the difficult realities of our present and our past, where there is conflict, violence, war, and hatred. We gather to hold space for silence as we try to make meaning of our history, to help us work for peace and justice today. We gather to rekindle our source of hope for our future by recognizing in one another our shared humanity as we join in a concerted commitment for a better tomorrow. We gather because we need community to do all of this holy work. May we continue to gather and do the work of racial justice and healing. May it be so, and amen.